Told you I'd do it. Finally, out in the sunlight. Had to drag the car out with the daily driver. And you can see it is covered in dust. I'm not going to bother cleaning it because it's just going to get dirty again. But she sat rather nicely. And moving on to the wheel arches. With them temporarily even, where I want them, I need to mark out where I'm going to drill. So I'm going to drill the arches first, and be happy with the fasteners, and then after that put a bit of blue tape, mark the wing, and then measure it against the other side, and then drill and have the riv nuts. I'll do that front and rear, but whilst I'm out I can do the rear on the other side now and see whether or not my ride height is okay. It will have to go a little bit further up. As you can see, there's not a great deal of room at the moment, and as much as my hopes would say that the rear's not going to move much, it's going to, and that's going to end up eating the lip at the top there. So I'll increase the ride height a bit. Well, the other thing is I can increase the ride height by raising the arch a little, but I'll have a play. But first of all, let's get to the front arch. And so when they go in, hopefully you won't see them much, but you can see they'll sit nicely into that groove. So I want to get them as low as I can into that, because the arch trim's going to go, it'll sit on top. And unfortunately the eBay company that I've used has now expanded or increased the time length for delivery into the middle of July, which is rather annoying. So I've ordered from Phoenix Trim, hopefully that'll be this week, but I can do this without the trim at the moment. But the trim is 9mm when it sits, which is roughly in line with where it starts to turn. So as you can see, these may be covered up a little, but that's okay, I can deal with that. So I'm going to mark up where they're going to go, and we'll go from there. A bit difficult in the sunlight, and potentially it might not focus, but you can see there I've put a pencil mark, and what I've done is I put the cap head in and went for the centre line. It's actually, the centre line is the top of here, so that's going to make things easier on all of them. So I can run a ruler across, and that's my datum then, and it's just going for the middle. So the next thing is drill a 4mm hole through. So here goes. All holes drilled, so what we'll do is we'll mock it up to roughly where it's gone. So what I've done is mine goes to as far forward until it starts to basically bend out because of the lip. So what I'll do, push it against it, slide it across, and that's where it stops. There's my first hole. Make it a bit tricky. The second hole I've got to be careful with, because it rides on the lip. And the problem child at the bottom. Excellent. So now I've got a hole in each one. So I'm going to measure these off the lip, make a note of that, and then I'll transfer it to the other side when I start measuring up. So I'll start drilling some holes, and then we'll do some riv nuts. Right, got one in just as a trial, and these are as simple as every other time. God, I love riv nuts. So much easier. And what I've done as well is I've put a bit of zinc primer in them as well. Oh, that one doesn't go as deep. I might have to re-evaluate that one. There we go, that's 3 out of the 4. So this one, by the looks of it, has got something behind it. So I'm going to chase that with a drill and I'll keep you updated. And there we have it. So that one I had to basically re-chase it with another sort of riv nut. The issue is when it goes in now, it catches, so I can have a bit of a play with the fiberglass and make it sit a bit flatter. That one's fine. That one's fine, but the one round here is a bit annoying because you can see the profile isn't quite right, so I need to add some heat and bend this back a little bit more, and then that can sit flush and that will make this sit flat as well, and I can take a little bit more of that, but overall it's on quite nicely there. So that's one down, another 3 to go. There we go, all 4 on. So each corner has got a bit of a nuance. This one not too bad, a bit of a gap there, but the arch trim is going to be covering most of that anyway. Still 2 minds whether or not to put an outside lip on or not, but it's going to get sprayed black. The rear left has got a bit of play there, but I've been quite fortunate in the way that adding a bit of heat I can mould these a bit better, or I might elongate the hole, because as you see, you do that and it moves the top. But overall happy in the way it moulds around the back as well. Rear right, still got the same problem up here, but I have made this as wide as possible so it's not munching on that. But I think that is literally just a case of getting some heat onto it and bringing it in a little bit. Round the front's absolutely fine, and it just kicks slightly to the right as it comes out, but again, a bit of heat, that'll be fine. Front right, sitting a little high there. I have elongated the hole and brought it down a bit more. That's sitting nicely against and all flush all the way around the front as well, and pretty solid. So once the trim arrives, I'll put those on, and then once that's done, sand them back and paint them. Still in 2 minds what to do with them, whether to go matte black like the wing mirrors or body colours. Put in the comments below what you think I should do. So, right, moving on to the next thing. 2 last pieces of the puzzle before she goes back in. So I've done the passenger side wing mirror. It's at a bit of a steep angle, obviously it's got to face the driver. It doesn't look massively pretty, but it's still functional, and that's what I'd rather have. I was considering having wing mirrors like Felix, but I am really happy with these. The one is the spacer. It's gone on the rear now, so the rear left has got the poke that I want it, and I've just given it a once over with a cloth because it was covered, it still is, with dust. Overall, happy with the way it looks, happy with the rear. Front still needs to go down, but I thought I'd show you with the bonnet and the grille on what it's looking like. Doesn't that look absolutely sick? Just makes me want to finish it off quicker and get it on the road. So on that, guys, thanks very much for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.